Some CRT goodies today. 51cm pure flat Panasonic television, 48cm curved NEC. Around the back, two 34cm TVs, fairly modern ones, both with DVD players built in. Finally, this one I should have probably left behind, but it's quite unusual. Colour television, FM AM radio, cassette recorder, sharp in fact, weighs a ton, quite damaged however, cassette drawers gone, antennas bent, quite muddy, cut cable in the back, Sharp CX 1020. Might have a look inside, curious to look at the tube, but that's about it. I think we'll go back to the bin. Look what I've got today. I've got a Sony 29-inch pure flat, no component, hopefully 50 or 60 Hz. Model number is KV-XF29M35. Subwoofer, Sony subwoofer, not smashed up for a change. Couple of baby tiny security style monitors, televisions, very corroded, probably have to throw that one out. Look at this one, back view, little tiny thing, probably have to throw that out. Getting a bit better with the Hanimex there. Antenna's been dislodged. The big NEC, now that's RF only, would probably normally throw it out, but NEC are makers of 63cm tubes, which this one does have. Quite a rare size, suitable for some leisure and allied industries arcade machines like NBA Jam. And finally, the old Sanyo that's in not bad nick. It's on its legs, they're all intact, so I might take that home. I'll power these up and see what happens. Today's find, very roughed up, but I never pass up these monitors. NEC, PowerMate, multi-sync too. So any of the older NEC multi-syncs, I always grab, regardless of the condition. Look at this Sierra hint line. Good taste. Whoever used to own this, you see it's been mistreated severely. Cracked there. Around the back, APC, Advanced Personal Computer. NEC released the APC series in Australia and probably other parts of the world. 9-pin CGA or EGA, possibly 15 kilohertz as well, RGB analog. And some of them are good multi-sync monitors, they're known for it, so that's why I always grab them. Be good for spare parts if nothing else, possibly. Remotes, always grab CRT TV remotes. I don't grab every CRT I see, but I grab every remote that I see for CRT TVs. Some of them are VCR TV combo types like the Sony, more on the VCR side of things. Still of the era though. Pioneer's more of an amp one perhaps, but Sharp VCR, Pioneer, receiver, a bit outside my zone, but it's of the vintage, so I thought I'd grab it anyway with the rest of them. Not a bad unit, but in pretty rough condition. Pure flat 68cm Panasonic with component, but I think it's just too far gone. The inputs connectors on the back are rusted out, so it's in the bin. Another old wooden TV, wood grain, Sanyo, that actually does work. Gold Star with the gold with the plate on the front, but that's RF only. These two both working. Top one RF only. I'll probably ditch that. Finally for TVs, this old wood grain finished one as well, Technovision, never heard of it, also works. Well, this is rather an extraordinary find by my standards. You have to realise where I live is not a big city. To find arcade parts is most unusual. To find these essentially in the tip is extraordinary. First I found the two chassis, which are both Naneo chassis, and those in the know of arcade know that Naneo is a good brand indeed. Then I saw what appears to be a bootleg arcade game board. I saw that in a bin and thought, well, given the chassis that have shown up, there is a good chance that that is an arcade board, which it would be, no doubt, because it's connected to this box. This arcade box now, and I don't know if that's actually come off. It looks like it could have come out of an arcade machine, maybe a 20-inch cabinet. Given that that's the tube that was in the vicinity, and that has a Sandwire chassis, then it's quite probable, I suppose, but that is a very small screen indeed. Might actually be out of a tabletop, given the small size, 14 inches or so. The two Nanao chassis, the bootleg chassis, we'll go around to the back of that vertical monitor and have a look. Here we are, neck board, bent up pins. Don't know if the tube's imploded, but it could be still alright in a sense, but I don't think I'll ever power this up. But there's the chassis, Sanwa. 13 centimetre, 13 CM76-2. We've got a label. No, I can't see one. Most unusual. Quite an extraordinary find. And there were also a number of other tubes that I think that those chassis came from, and I've got some photos and I'll put them up. This tube here, necked as it is, one of the tubes that was connected to one of those Nanao chassis, Mitsubishi tube. The Hitachi here is interesting. This must have been imported. It is Japanese through and through, 14 inches in size, fairly heavy. You can see all the Japanese text. Now I think it could be a monitor. I can only see video and audio in. There is no antenna socket. Model number C14-1070. It'll be 100 volt. Yeah, it's 100 volt and someone's hardwired for Australian use. A step down. Just going straight in for a hardwire. I think they've looped the cord through there on the handle and then gone inside onto the chassis direct. It does work, or at least it does power up. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it though. It's pretty limited in use. Today's arrival, Shibusoku multi-test signal generator. Fairly flash looking piece of equipment. Fairly late, I'd say, in the analog world of video signals. No digital on the back. Look at that. SCART and all. Composite. Sync. Component. Some sound. That'll be interesting to test. Oh, there we go. June 2006, so yes, very late in the analog world. Very interesting. Even though it's Japanese, it's multi-volty, straight away plug in 240 volts IEC power lead, and off it goes. It's going to be very interesting to play with and will deserve its own video in the future. Today's pickup, KTX PC VGA monitor. Also got the beige Pentium 4 desktop style. KTX is probably a mismatch there. It's a bit older, I'd say, than that Pentium 4, though that's probably an earlier Pentium 4. Two TVs today, the NEC, the less exciting of the two, 14 inches in size, composite video being its best feature, no SCART or component. In contrast, the Audio Sonic over here on the right not only has the built-in DVD player on the front, also has component video input on the back, so it's not a bad little one. 14-inch LG, little black and white thing over there. Look at these, Commodore 64 and a PlayStation Store sign. Quite unusual. Another interesting or providential find was this Barco projector here that I've just picked up. I had my eye on this on eBay for a while. It was a bit too expensive for my liking and not worth making a trip just for the projector. However, on the way home I got a eBay price reduction notification on my phone, and thought, well, I'll message the owner, and if they get back to me within like 10 minutes on my way home, I can swing around and go pick it up. And sure enough, it happened. It's got the manual, it's got the remote. Anything CRT related I like to rescue. So not a huge load by any means, but a couple of good ones. Couple more. The Audio Sonic 14-inch on the right with the built-in DVD player. No SCART, no component. The Masuda on the left, about a 10-inch built-in antenna. Have a look around the back here at the T's. So we have the antenna, and the antenna has its own cable that goes into the RF port. You can pull that out and then put any other RF device in. And the big tease of it is that SCART port there, the cutout with no actual SCART in it. That's a real tease, that one. Would make this television way better if you could run RGB into it. Not a bad little pickup here. A few things that aren't CRT related, but quite a few that are, as you can see. Pick of the bunch being the Macintosh Plus in the background. This would have to be a Macintosh tube as well. Deflection and flyback on that board. no doubt belonging to the tube. It was in close proximity to the Mac, so it'd have to be a spare that someone's pulled. An Apple monitor, a few PS2 connector mice. Go over here, a Mac of some sort, Macintosh LC2, Coles Supermarkets, 1993 Coles, Apples for the Students program. By the way, that Mac, Cygnus Gippsland, it might have been in Sale, the town, the city of Sale. I used to go to that shop when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure that might have been the name of it. Tape drive of some sort, just a IDE hard drive, 60 gig, few floppy disks, controller card of some sort, Ethernet card, looks like a Visa standard VGA card for PCs for sort of that 486 era, and a controller of some sort, floppy controller possibly, maybe SCSI, big connector. Lastly, couple of very unusual specimens. It's a pity that they've had a lot of their cords snipped on the back. I didn't get to them quick enough. Damn. They would have had the phones that go there. Telecom computer phone executive series. I don't know anything about them except by looking on the back, and we have Sinclair as the manufacturer, made in UK 1984. Bit of Sinclair Spectrum action inside probably. Most unusual, but something that Telecom, what was Australia's national phone service, was using in the time.